Welcome back, everybody. It is month 28, which means it is time for us to buy another stock. Now, we did buy a stock, but we wanted to do a review very quickly to explain why we did that before we tell you what we bought and get into the reasons why we bought it. So if you'll notice, our portfolio here is $46,000 total. Now, this is originally based on a $400 a month investment schedule. We've exceeded that quite a bit, but in that portfolio, you're getting about $141 a month in dividends. Now, also on the screen, you'll notice we have what we call a dividend snowball. We are tracking our portfolio against a video we did some time ago that talks about what happens when you invest into dividends over time. So in the snowball, we are assuming a few things. We're assuming an 8% stock growth rate. Our portfolio is averaging between 10 and 12. This is 2 years in. We also assume in this snowball that you're getting a 4% dividend yield. Now, we get about 5% on average. So if you compare that or think about it, our portfolio is doing better than what we're showing you in the spreadsheet. So if you're under the age of 40 and you want to make $50,000 a year by the time you're our age, pay attention.
Now, if you think $50,000 after 10 years is not impressive in an investment, then you really need to keep watching, because I understand that people do calls and puts on the Magnificent Seven that goes up 6,000%, and they could make $50,000 within a couple hours or a week of just investing that way. However, we built our portfolio in a defensive manner to protect that investment, so that when the ebbs and flows of the market happens, we are consistently going up and getting the dividends over time, and we don't lose as much as they're going to lose. We're not going to lose our shirt.
We are protecting our portfolio against a recession. Now, if you're under the age of 40, outside of the COVID blip, you've never been through one, most likely, unless you started investing as a teenager. And if you did, that's awesome. Not a lot of people do that. But for the most part, you've only ever known for almost 16 years a bull market. You've never been through a bear market. In a bear market, the stocks will drop somewhere around 40% of equitable value. In fact, during the 2008 crisis, housing prices dropped almost 50%. In some markets, it was more than that. That is usually followed by a bull market, and that bull market goes up by 500%, but that takes about 10 years. Our portfolio is positioned the way it is based on dividend checks and the types of products that they sell, that we know that we're still going to get our income, and our portfolio is going to be relatively safe if a recession happens.
And I like getting dividend checks. I don't know about you, but like when there's a recession and everybody's fretting and I'm still getting money every month, I like that.
It's nice to know you can pay the rent.
Yeah. And if you can take that money and put it into stocks that are being depressed because of the recession, you can make even more money coming out of it. With that said, what did we buy? Well, if you've been following along, you know we did a recent video on Dividend Energy, and that's what we bought. If you want to watch it, it's right here. I highly recommend you go watch it to get the in-depth view of why we were looking at it.
There's some financials in that video that we're not talking about in this video.
Right. Now, one thing that we did want to mention is they were looking for an acquisition. They had a couple failed acquisitions. They got one, and they put $5 billion into Williston Basin.
So how do we know about this acquisition so quickly? Well, typically when you go to a portfolio, if you have an E-Trade, Morgan Stanley, Charles Schwab, Moomoo, Robinhood, you name them, they have a news section for stocks, and that covers what's happening with all the major publishers out there about that specific equity. So in this case, we have access to Seeking Alpha Premium, which they have decided to partner with us to help you and us get better and more timely news articles. And if you'll notice, if you compare what we see in our news with our Charles Schwab account to Seeking Alpha, there's a lot more information in Seeking Alpha. So we find this is a valuable tool. Hopefully you guys will too. We did provide a little bit of a discount for you. Click the link below if you'd like to get it. But in this article, if you just scroll down, you can see there's just tons of information that's happening with this stock. Now, this is just Dividend Energy. You can find anything about any stock you want, put your portfolio in there. We'll cover all that later. But for now, that helps to influence the decision that we made to purchase the stock.
Keep in mind, when we do partnerships, we only partner with people with things that we use.
Yep.
So we've been using Seeking Alpha for years. Had that paywall for a while, but when you don't have the paywall, there's a lot of great articles.
Now, if you've been following along, we have another stock to purchase in a few weeks. So what we're looking at for next month is potentially to level out our cost basis of our portfolio. If you've noticed, we're trying to even out all the numbers in the portfolio, and they're not quite there yet. So we're kind of leaning into ADP, not sure yet, stay tuned. And then we're also still, a year and a half later, still looking at REITs. Maybe next month, we're gonna look again.
So hopefully you're playing along with the home game and you're making money as we make money. If you're finding value in that, please like, subscribe, do all the YouTube-y things, help us get to 10,000 subscribers. That's kind of a goal we have right now, and we will see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching, everyone.